What's going on, everybody? Good afternoon. Hope you guys are doing well. We've got some Seattle Seahawks news here. Not massively impactful stuff here, but certainly interesting. We finally picked up that third quarterback that we've been talking about for a while now, and it's not PJ Walker. So, obviously, this is concerning the practice squad. We're not carrying three quarterbacks on the active roster, which we should not do. Most teams don't do that these days. So, we've got our practice squad quarterback, and it's actually somebody that I remember a little bit from the draft a little over a year ago. One of the guys that I looked at for a little bit for draft purposes. So the Seattle Seahawks have signed former Minnesota Viking Jaren Hall. Jaren Hall is going to be their practice squad quarterback, and obviously, given that's his position, it is somewhat unlikely that he'll actually make the active roster and play at any point this season. But I do think there is some value in having a quarterback on the practice squad who can at least simulate competence during the practice. And this is something where I think you want to get a quarterback who can kind of roughly simulate some of the tougher quarterbacks you're going to play during the year. And in order to do that, you need to have an NFL caliber arm and possibly some NFL caliber mobility. And Jaren Hall has at least a little bit of that. Now, to get Jaren Hall on the practice squad, we let Aesop Winston Jr. go, which that's unfortunate. We will probably bring him back at some point, but he had a good preseason, so I don't think our plan is to just let him go. If we were going to do that, it probably would have been somebody else. So don't be surprised if Aesop comes right back at some point and we let somebody else go and just shuffle things around a little bit. It might take a couple weeks for him to come back as well. You never know what happens there. There could be a situation where we just wait a little while for things to kind of settle on the roster and then bring him back. But regardless, Jaren Hall, most notable thing about him right now would be that he played really well in the preseason for the Vikings. Not well enough to keep his job, but his numbers were quite good. He was effective for the most part. And it seems like he's coming around a little bit. Now, preseason football is one thing, regular season, meaningful football is another. And Jaren Hall has actually played a little bit in the NFL regular season. Now, emphasis on a little bit. We're talking about a couple of games, but after being a fifth round pick last year of the Minnesota Vikings, he actually got to play in a couple of games. Didn't do a ton. 168 passing yards, one pick, no touchdowns, 1-1 record as a starter. So he's got a win as a starting quarterback in this league, I guess. But not too much to really say here in terms of things that stand out, right? Like 70.4 QB rating, QBR of 5.1, which is, I mean, that's tough, right? That's not a very good look. Rushing stats, 14 yards, 6 carries. He got sacked 4 times. So, read into that as you will. There's not much to say. But I was able to go back and actually look at the report that I wrote on Jaren Hall when he was in the draft process out of BYU. So I wrote this over a year ago. Who knows how valid it still is. But let's go over what I had here on Mr. Jaren Hall. No combine for him, no pro day that I was able to find that was any kind of meaningful. So BYU, 25 years old, so he was very much an older rookie when he entered the draft. He did not get on the Vikings. The Vikings season didn't start with him on the roster until he was already 25, and he's well into 26 now. He turned 26 back in March, so he's very much 26. Kind of small, if you look at the measurements, 6 feet flat, 207 pounds, sub 30-inch arms, 9.5-inch hands. You can see that the big board, some of them had him going undrafted or deep in the 7th. A couple had him going around the 5th round, I guess, would kind of be the best case scenario here, which is about where he went. And you can see the numbers were good at BYU. He ran for 350 yards, 31 touchdowns, 66% completion his final year as a starter. They're almost 3,200 passing yards. So legitimate college football season, but BYU, not exactly QBU we're talking about here. So I actually liked Jaren Hall a little more than most people, I think. I liked his arm. I thought it was a great arm that could make a lot of tough throws. I thought he could fit the ball into a tight window. I saw some stuff on tape that I liked with Jaren Hall. I know that there were a lot of people who looked at him and kind of went the other way. And obviously, it's not an excellent arm or anything like that. I just think it's a little bit better than you would expect to find on a day 3 quarterback. You can put touch or velocity depending on the need on the ball. He's accurate on the move. He's somebody who's really good at making plays off platform, somebody who's really good at kind of improvising and getting the ball out on weird angles. He can make plays under pressure, feels the rush and extends plays. Very athletic for a quarterback, so at the very minimum, he's providing that dimension of quarterback play where he's going to be tricky to practice against because he brings that skill set to the table that some quarterbacks don't have. And I think that's important. If you're going to have a third string quarterback on your practice squad, you don't really expect him to be good because if he was good, he'd be on someone's team. But you want him to be annoying to play against as a defense. And Jaren Hall has the skill set where he could be definitely annoying to play against. He's a productive runner with his legs via scripted and non-scripted plays. Also high character, whatever that's worth noting. Now, there were some issues, of course, which is why he was a 5th round pick ultimately. He has gotten banged up already in his career. He had missed some time in 2021. And, I mean, he's a smaller guy, so when he gets hit, it's going to affect him more than it will most other players. Sometimes he holds onto the ball too long, which contributes to his ability to make plays under pressure and extend plays, but sometimes you just need to get it out of there. Needs some polish on his decision-making, despite already being 25 before taking a single NFL snap. Given the fact that he was an older prospect, you would want someone who's a little bit more of a finished product. I didn't think that all the cerebral football IQ stuff was there the way you would like. So overall, I liked him more than most people. I would not have minded taking him in day 4 if we needed a quarterback at that, or excuse me, round 4 if we had needed a quarterback at that time. We did not. So he went to the Vikings and he lasted 1 year. So obviously he didn't work out there, didn't go terribly well over in Minnesota, but I am not against this player at all. I do view him as a fairly talented quarterback, and I do think there is a little something here, even if that something is probably capped out at being a career backup at best. So, new addition to the practice squad. Hope we get Aesop Winston back. That was one of my favorite guys on the practice squad. One other little bit of news as well. I know the Seahawks are hitting the practice field in the next few minutes here, so we'll probably get more news later. But the Seahawks have announced they are going to be wearing their 90s throwbacks against Denver. So we will be seeing the throwback jerseys this year, and we're going to see them right in week 1. Also planning on wearing them week 6 against the Niners. So we already know exactly which games we're going to be in the throwback. So that's pretty fun. That's pretty exciting. I think we can all get a little bit extra excited about that. A lot of people like the throwbacks. The throwbacks are very popular. And I think this is going to continue to help. Okay, so that is about it for the latest and greatest on the Seattle Seahawks. Jaren Hall, welcome to the team. Should serve us well as a practice squad. This is practice squatter. This is all I wanted, right? This is all I wanted as a practice squad quarterback. I wasn't expecting somebody good. Again, if he's good, he's going to make a team somewhere. But I wanted somebody who at least had some NFL skills. I didn't want someone who was just going to be some statue noodle arm who didn't bring anything to the table except maybe his brain. And we got that. We definitely got that with Jaren Hall. He has NFL level athletic ability, and I don't mind his arm. Okay. See you guys later. Go Hawks. Probably another video later today because we are practicing. Probably just a walkthrough, but I'll probably have something to say about it. See ya.